The date of Jesus Christ's birth has fascinated scholars and believers for centuries. Although it is widely celebrated on December 25th, there is no historical consensus that he was actually born on this day. This date, chosen by the Catholic Church, carries profound symbolism, but it also raises doubts and intrigues. Have you ever wondered why this choice was made? And what it means for our faith and understanding of Christmas? Let's delve into this story, rich in debates and full of revelations that may surprise you. In the first centuries of Christianity, the idea of celebrating the birth of Jesus did not even exist. This may sound strange to us today, but at that time, Christians were much more focused on the celebration of Easter, which commemorated the death and resurrection of Christ. Origen of Alexandria, one of the great thinkers of the early Church, even condemned the practice of celebrating birthdays, as he believed it was a pagan custom. Think about it for a moment. What if we never had Christmas as we know it? How would this absence affect our lives today? The search for a specific date for Jesus' birth began in the late 2nd century. Clement of Alexandria, another great theologian, recorded that there was intense debate among Christians about what the true day was. Dates such as May 20th, March 21st, and April 15th were mentioned, showing the widespread uncertainty. Imagine living in that era, without the certainty of a unified calendar to commemorate the most important event in Christianity. Wouldn't that have been disorienting for the collective faith? So why was December 25th chosen? Many point to Sextus Julius Africanus, a 3rd-century Christian historian, who was one of the first to suggest this date. He theorized that the day of Jesus' conception would be March 25th, corresponding to the spring equinox in the northern hemisphere. Counting 9 months, we arrive at December 25th. In addition, some say that the choice was also linked to the strategy of Christianizing pagan celebrations, such as the Roman festival of Sol Invictus. But is this explanation complete? Or is there something deeper behind it? This choice was not made without resistance. Imagine the impact of trying to convince entire communities to adopt a date that, for many, made no historical sense. However, the Church realized that December 25th had a powerful symbolism. It marked the birth of Christ, the light of the world, just after the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year. This reinforced the idea that Jesus came into the world to illuminate the darkness. How many times in our lives do we also seek this light in the midst of the darkest nights? Now, there is a point that few know and that may change your view of this date. Recent archaeological research and historical studies suggest that Jesus may have been born in a completely different time than we imagine. Climatic evidence, for example, shows that the conditions described in the Gospels do not match the harsh winter of Judea. Shepherds would not have been in the fields at night at this time, tending to their flocks in the open air, as mentioned in the Gospel of Luke. This leads us to wonder, to what extent has tradition shaped our perception of facts? And here's the revelation that many are unaware of. Records from ancient Christian traditions suggest that the birth of Christ was associated with the harvest season, between September and October, aligning with the Jewish Feast of Tabernacles. This theory not only changes the calendar as we know it, but also highlights a direct connection between Jesus and the traditions of Israel. Imagine, for a moment, what it would be like to celebrate Christmas at another time of the year. Would that change our perception of the event? But what does all this mean for us today? Even if we don't know the exact date of Christ's birth, what matters is what it represents. Think about your life. How many times have you celebrated something more for its meaning than for the exact moment it happened? We celebrate Christmas as a mark of spiritual renewal, an opportunity to remember the love, compassion, and promise of redemption brought by Jesus. This symbolism goes beyond any calendar. Christmas also teaches us about the power of light in the darkness. We live in a world full of uncertainty, crises, and challenges. Just as the birth of Christ was celebrated to bring hope in difficult times, we too need to find our own light amidst the darkness. Have you found the light that guides your life? Have you ever stopped to reflect on what Christmas really means to you and your family? This mystery about the true date of Jesus' birth should not be seen as a doubt, but as an opportunity to deepen our faith. It invites us to look beyond the dates and focus on what really matters, the transformative impact of Christ on our lives. After all, it doesn't matter when he was born, but what he means to us. And that, my friend, transcends any calendar. But after all, what really matters to you when you think about Christmas? Is it the specific date or what it symbolizes? Perhaps the most relevant thing is how this celebration touches our hearts, bringing forth love, unity, and hope. Think about it. Amidst so much rush at the end of the year, Christmas offers us a moment to pause, to reflect on what is truly worthwhile. Have you ever stopped to think about how this date influences your choices and relationships? Now, imagine if Christmas were celebrated at another time, such as in September or October, as some theories suggest. Do you think the meaning would be the same? Or could it be that the proximity to the end of the year and the turn of the cycle enhance this energy of renewal? It is curious to think how a decision made so many centuries ago continues to impact our traditions and emotions to this day. Does the Church's original intention still resonate in our hearts? How about reflecting on the symbolism of Christmas in your life? If you could choose a date to celebrate the birth of Jesus, what would it be? Something linked to nature, like spring, or a more introspective time, like the beginning of winter? These choices can say a lot about how each of us sees the purpose of this celebration. So, tell us, what does Christmas mean to you? Is it more about faith, family, or a combination of all of these? The mystery surrounding the birth of Christ reminds us of something very important. Faith is not an exact science, but a profound encounter with what we believe. Not knowing the exact date does not diminish the power of Christmas. On the contrary, it becomes even more universal, encompassing different cultures and traditions. What do you think about this? Leave your opinion in the comments and share your thoughts on the subject. Now, one last thought to get you thinking. What if the choice of December 25th was not just a historical convenience, but a divine call to unite different peoples and traditions around a universal message of peace? This little explored possibility opens up a new horizon for understanding Christmas. After all, faith is not just about facts, but about what we do with the truths we choose to believe. If you like this content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive more videos like this. Your participation is essential for us to continue exploring topics that instigate curiosity and strengthen faith. And, of course, we'd love to hear your opinion. Write in the comments what Christmas means to you and how this story made you reflect. Let's unravel more mysteries together and celebrate what really matters.